Hey guys, it's Alum. So, the main purpose of today's video is to fulfill a suggestion that I got in the comments on my last Bedrock Edition Farlands video. So as you can see, guys, I am in a world with only one experimental gameplay feature enabled, and that is caves and cliffs, as you can see all by the new mountain biome over there. So if I type in /TP 12 million, not QW, 12,550,800, 100, and then 1. Yeah, you'll actually see in a moment here when this loads up. This loads up, and this loads up, you're actually going to see how the Farlands look now. So as you guys can see, the Farlands look much different now. Oh, the Farlands actually appear much thinner and much more geometrical, with right angles connecting the land, which actually looks a little bit like the Fringe Lands. Speaking of this will actually, the Farlands, instead of thinning out, will now actually thicken and into something you're going to see a little later. So here's the top view of the Farlands look like now. So the change in the Farlands' appearance is due to the addition of a new noise generator for caves. So in case you don't already know, guys, in the Caves and Cliffs update, we're going to be getting much better caves in Minecraft. And in fact, similar to some of what I've showed you over on my Minecraft creative world. So yeah. Let's now head to the corner here, /TP 12,550,800, 100, 12,550,800. So when this loads up, just wait for this to load up here. There. So you can see that, once again, the Farlands look, so you can see how they look much different. You can see how that actually combines with the repetitiveness of the terrain near the corners, which is a phenomenon that still exists in the experimental caves in the Caves and Cliffs Farlands. And once again, it is caused by a floating point precision loss in certain values in the terrain generator. But up here, you will actually see that the corner Farlands, which now bear much more resemblance to those of Java Edition, being a stack of layers. It is pretty flat in the top. So when we get down lower, you will see a dark layer with a lot of pillar formations, with many pillar formations. And even some columns just sticking up out of the flat ground, resembling some of the artifacts of the Fringe Lands. And this was where the Skygrid once generated. And actually I have something interesting for you guys at the end of the video. So yeah, it is turning night here. So let's do /time set day. Not dat, day. There. So for enhanced visibility for you guys. Now let's head over to -12,550,800, 100, and then 1. So when this loads up, you're actually going to see a giant wall instead of a drop-off into the ocean, like before. Like if you remember in a video I made a while back, I actually explained in detail why the Farlands in the negative directions don't generate. And now the nothingness has been replaced with this, which I like to call the Highlands. So this looks like a landscape that someone could have rather easily created with World Painter. And while it is mostly flat at the top, there are some huge dips in the terrain. Like here, like this crevice right here. This is pretty cool, actually. And in some cases, I have seen like plateaus generating here. But in my case, the map is pretty flat up here. And now let's head to, actually no, it's just take my word for it. The positive X Farlands will actually thicken into this terrain here eventually. For more detail on that. I would actually recommend checking out the Farlands experimenters video on the matter. So, yeah, guys, that's really about all I've got to show for the Caves and Cliffs Farlands. So let's exit out of the world here. There. Now let's hop over into our main Farlands investigation world. Yeah. There. So where I left off, I was actually at the start of the Farlands. So I made in the video I made a while back showing the Nether and End Farlands, I actually pointed out to you guys that the Skygrid was no longer generating for me in the overworld in 1.16.210. Well, I have some news. Oh, I don't know. Anyway, don't worry about it. Yeah, but anyway, I have some news. The Skygrid in the overworld, at least for me, actually generates again in 1.17.10. This is all 1.16.210 material, but in a little bit you're gonna see that the overworld Skygrid has returned, at least for now. So yeah, what has come? So why the Skygrid has come and gone from the overworld in the recent patches, along with the comb artifacts in the Fringe Lands, I have no idea actually. Although the discovery that I made in the last video might have something to do with it, or not the last video. I meant the last Bedrock Edition Farlands video. Yeah. So not only that, but if I head over to, let's type in /TP 12,561,029. That's the beginning of the Fringe Lands. 101. And fun fact, I actually didn't come up with that term myself. Oh, cave sound. I actually didn't come up with that term Fringe Lands myself. Munani actually used that. It actually referred to it as the Fringe Lands in the description on her 2014 video about the Farlands in Pocket Edition at the time, and I adopted that. So in the video I made a while back, I showed the Fringe Lands being generating rather uninteresting just strips of land like this. But if I head over into unexplored material, you'll actually see that the Fringe Lands, once again generate like they did before, with the comb artifacts and everything. So the comb artifacts actually generate when something on the z-axis is not an integer, and for whatever reason, at 2 to 23 low high noise units away from the center, they just stop generating on the x-axis. That does not occur on the z-axis, as you are about to see. In the z-axis, for instance, it only happen 2, 5, 6, 2, 2, 7, 7. There. So then it could be a clue as to why the z-axis will dissipate into Skygrid-like terrain. The z-axis Farlands will dissipate into Skygrid-like terrain, while the x-axis ones completely decay. Anyway, here is something rather interesting that I previously facepalmed at the fact that I forgot to check out while the Skygrid was still generating for me, which I previously referred to as the pillar lands, but I guess these aren't true pillars because they don't actually reach up to the top here of this layer here. So here's how the Z Fringe Lands combine with the repetitiveness phenomenon. So whatever causes the comb artifacts not to generate after 2 to 23 low high noise units away from the axis in the X Fringe Lands does not occur in the Z Fringe Lands once again. And this is rather sad. And this is actually rather satisfying to look at. There's a savannah biome over here. And I actually originally showed this in the Nether in a video that I made back in April. But yeah, guys, that's about all I've got for today. Leave a like if you enjoyed, and consider subscribing to my channel if you haven't already, and hit the bell and click on all for all notifications. And goodbye.